Witnessing your child in discomfort during a festive occasion is emotionally distressing. Seeing your child shivering on Christmas while others laugh around the fireplace is a deeply unsettling experience. Holidays are often associated with warmth, joy, and togetherness, so watching your daughter suffer during what is meant to be a time of celebration creates an immediate and jarring emotional conflict. As a parent, your natural instinct is to protect and care for your child, and when you are unable to do so quickly, or when others fail to recognize her distress, it can evoke a profound sense of helplessness, compounded by the festive setting that should feel safe and joyous. The emotional response is multi-layered. There's the immediate surge of concern for your daughter's physical well-being, since shivering indicates cold or discomfort that could be harmful if not addressed promptly. And simultaneously, there is a deeper pain, a sense of sadness and frustration because your child's vulnerability is being ignored or even trivialized by others. The laughter of the family around the fireplace may intensify feelings of anger, confusion, or disappointment, making the situation feel isolating and disheartening as you realize the communal environment is indifferent or even mocking. These moments can also trigger self-reflection and questioning, with parents wondering whether they should have anticipated the situation, acted sooner, or intervened differently. Such thoughts can spiral into guilt, even when circumstances were beyond immediate control. Emotional distress in these situations is not only about the child suffering, but also about the mismatch between parental expectation and reality, and the impact can linger well beyond the holiday itself. Children are perceptive, and a parent's stress or anguish can amplify a child's own sense of discomfort or insecurity, leaving a vivid, painful memory that undermines the sense that care and empathy are guaranteed in family gatherings. Ultimately, the emotional impact is profound because it touches core human instincts: protection, empathy, and the desire for joy, and reveals how quickly those instincts can be challenged when a child's needs are overlooked. Your daughter's physical needs, warmth, and care were not immediately addressed, and that neglect is stark because children rely entirely on adults to provide basic necessities. When a child is shivering, it is a clear signal that something essential is missing, and in the context of a holiday gathering, the contrast between expectation and reality becomes particularly painful. Christmas is typically associated with comfort, abundance, and togetherness, so seeing your daughter cold and ignored highlights a failure of immediate adult response, as others prioritize amusement or conversation over her welfare. Even if unintentional, this oversight can communicate to a child that her needs are secondary and that asking for help may not yield support, which for a parent evokes intense frustration, helplessness, and anger. The instinct to intervene and shield the child is strong, and when that instinct is met with inaction, it magnifies feelings of isolation and urgency while forcing you to navigate social dynamics that make direct intervention uncomfortable. Neglect of physical needs is not merely momentary. Repeated experiences where a child's basic requirements are overlooked can affect her perception of security and trust, and even a single incident in a charged social setting can leave an emotional imprint. This situation underscores the importance of proactive parenting, anticipating needs before they become urgent, advocating for your child when others fail to respond, and modeling attentive care. Because addressing her needs immediately not only relieves physical discomfort, but also reinforces emotional security and sends a clear message that her well-being matters. The other family member's laughter suggests a troubling lack of empathy or awareness, and it exposes the family dynamics at play in ways that are difficult for a parent to ignore. Family gatherings should be spaces of connection, support, and mutual care. So when a child's discomfort is met with laughter rather than concern, it signals a disconnection from empathy and an unwillingness to recognize and respond to vulnerability. For a parent, this creates a painful conflict between defending and advocating for the child and preserving family harmony, and navigating that balance can generate frustration, isolation, and anger, especially if the lack of empathy feels casual or habitual. Laughter in this context often functions as a deflection, a way to avoid addressing discomfort, but it communicates to the child that her feelings are secondary and that expressing needs may be inappropriate, embarrassing, or unworthy of attention. Children are remarkably perceptive to these cues, and such responses can shape their understanding of social norms and emotional validation. The moment also reveals differing family priorities. Some members may value entertainment or appearances, while others prioritize care and protection, and highlights the need to reflect on boundaries, communication, and how family members support one another in vulnerability. Ultimately, this experience is a reminder that true family connection is measured not just by shared traditions, but by the capacity to recognize, validate, and respond to one another's needs, especially in moments of discomfort or distress. In any social or family setting, there is an inherent distribution of power, with adults naturally controlling the environment, the temperature, activities, seating, and general atmosphere, while children depend on them for safety, comfort, and emotional security. When a child is shivering while others laugh by the fireplace, this imbalance becomes starkly visible. Your daughter's vulnerability is laid bare, yet the adults who could intervene either do not notice or choose not to act. This discrepancy creates a clear hierarchy, where she relies entirely on others to meet her immediate needs, while those with the capacity to help exercise control, sometimes without regard for her well-being. For a parent, this imbalance is particularly jarring, as the instinct to protect and advocate for the child clashes with the social reality that others hold influence over the environment. You may feel an urgent need to intervene, yet simultaneously face subtle pressures to defer to family dynamics, maintain social politeness, or avoid conflict, creating heightened responsibility, anxiety, and frustration. The power imbalance also has emotional and developmental implications. When a child experiences neglect or discomfort in the presence of adults who could prevent it, she learns who can be trusted to respond to her needs. Laughter or indifference communicates that her needs are secondary, and expressing discomfort is futile, which can influence future interactions and emotional growth. This dynamic also reveals broader relational patterns within families, showing how some adults may prioritize social appearance or amusement over empathy, while others must navigate these patterns to ensure the child's welfare. Ultimately, the presence of a power imbalance underscores the critical role of advocacy and attentive care, reminding parents that ethical control involves prioritizing empathy, protection, and responsiveness over convenience or tradition. Even in a crowded room, a child experiencing discomfort can feel profoundly alone, as physical proximity does not always equate to emotional presence. In this scenario, your daughter shivering while others laughed by the fireplace may have felt unseen, unheard, and emotionally disconnected. Isolation is particularly acute against the backdrop of holiday expectations, where joy, inclusion, and comfort are anticipated. When a child's distress is ignored or trivialized, it can communicate that her feelings are not legitimate or worthy of attention. For a parent, witnessing this isolation evokes intense emotions. Frustration, anger, and helplessness arise as you observe your daughter navigating discomfort alone while others appear oblivious. Isolation affects children physically and emotionally. Feeling unseen can generate anxiety, insecurity, and self-doubt. And repeated experiences of neglect can foster long-term self-consciousness or reluctance to express discomfort. Even a single instance during a cherished family event can leave a lasting impression, shaping perceptions of relationships and trust. This moment highlights the parent's role as an advocate and emotional anchor. Offering warmth, reassurance, or physical closeness helps restore security and belonging. Ultimately, isolation underscores the importance of emotional visibility and validation, as children must feel seen and recognized, especially in vulnerable moments, to experience genuine inclusion, safety, and care. Family gatherings also involve subtle social pressures, where unspoken rules about behavior and emotions influence interactions. In the scenario where your daughter shivered while others laughed, the laughter may have sent an implicit message that discomfort is not to be taken seriously, and expressing vulnerability is inappropriate. Children quickly internalize these cues, feeling compelled to minimize or hide their discomfort to conform to social expectations. For parents, observing this pressure is unsettling. You recognize your child's need for care, but also see her subtly coerced into conformity by others' reactions. The tension between shielding her from social forces and allowing her to navigate interactions requires guidance, advocacy, and modeling emotional resilience. Humor and indifference can enforce conformity, teaching the child that suppressing needs is safer than risking ridicule, and even lighthearted laughter can reinforce invisibility or inadequacy. Social pressure also affects the parent-child dynamic, as intervening to protect the child may create conflict or discomfort within the family. This scenario underscores the importance of creating environments where children can express needs without fear of judgment, teaching them that emotions are valid, advocacy is necessary, and empathy is a fundamental value, lessons essential both during family gatherings and throughout life. Shivering is not merely a sign of discomfort, it is the body's physiological response to cold and can indicate a potential risk to health if left unaddressed. In a holiday setting where warmth and comfort are expected, seeing your daughter shivering is alarming because it signals that her basic physical needs are unmet. The body reacts to cold by contracting muscles, generating heat, and activating the nervous system. But prolonged exposure can lead to serious conditions such as hypothermia, fatigue, or weakened immunity. For a parent, these biological signals immediately raise concern, as the child's well-being is at stake in real time. The safety concern extends beyond the immediate physical risk because children are less able to articulate discomfort or manage their environment independently, making them reliant on adults to recognize and respond to signs of distress. Your daughter's shivering highlights the urgent need for intervention, providing warmth, adjusting the environment, or removing her from a cold area. When others around the fireplace laugh instead of responding, it compounds the danger, forcing the parent to navigate social dynamics while ensuring the child's safety, which creates heightened stress, urgency, and a sense of isolation. Beyond the immediate physical risk, this incident underscores a broader principle. Children's safety is not just about protecting them from obvious dangers, but also attending to subtler signs of discomfort and vulnerability. Ignoring a child's shivering, even temporarily, can teach them that their signals may go unnoticed or be trivialized, affecting their ability to advocate for themselves in the future. It also highlights the importance of proactive parenting. Anticipating potential risks in any environment, especially social or unfamiliar settings, and taking steps to mitigate them before they escalate. Safety concerns intertwine with emotional care because physical vulnerability often amplifies feelings of fear, anxiety, and insecurity. By addressing the immediate risk, a parent safeguards the child's body while reinforcing emotional security. Warmth, reassurance, and responsiveness demonstrate that the child's needs are noticed, prioritized, and met, providing both protection and comfort. Ultimately, recognizing and responding to safety concerns in moments like this is central to parenting, reminding caregivers that vigilance, empathy, and timely intervention ensure a child feels both physically secure and emotionally supported, even in environments where others may fail to act. Children's experiences, particularly those involving vulnerability, discomfort, or neglect, are often stored in emotional memory long before they are fully processed cognitively. In the scenario where your daughter was shivering while others laughed by the fireplace, the emotional resonance of the moment can leave a deep and lasting imprint. Even a brief experience of physical discomfort, when paired with feelings of being unseen or ignored, becomes more than a fleeting moment. It forms part of the child's internal narrative about safety, trust, and social dynamics. Emotional memory in children is especially powerful because it shapes their perception of relationships and self-worth. When a child's distress is met with laughter or indifference, she may learn that expressing needs is risky, embarrassing, or futile. Over time, this can influence how she interacts with others, communicates discomfort, and trusts adults or peers to respond empathetically. Even light-hearted laughter may be interpreted as exclusion or neglect, creating a subtle but significant imprint on her psyche. For a parent, witnessing the potential formation of such emotional memories is deeply concerning. There's an acute awareness that seemingly small experiences can ripple forward, affecting how the child approaches future social situations, holiday gatherings, or family interactions. It reinforces the importance of intervening promptly, offering comfort, and validating the child's feelings, thereby mitigating the negative impact on emotional memory. By responding with care, parents can help reframe the experience, transforming it from a source of fear, neglect, or isolation into one of protection, reassurance, and empathy. Emotional memory also serves as a guide for parents, signaling the importance of modeling behavior and values. How adults respond to moments of vulnerability teaches children about compassion, empathy, and the ways in which they can expect to be treated. While a single incident of neglect may linger, consistent patterns of attentiveness, protection, and emotional validation can balance or overwrite earlier negative impressions. Ultimately, these experiences highlight the profound influence of seemingly minor events on a child's long-term emotional development, reminding parents that moments of discomfort or oversight are not isolated. They shape the child's understanding of safety, care, and trust in relationships, and contribute to emotional resilience and social awareness. One of the most fundamental aspects of parenting is the responsibility to protect, nurture, and advocate for a child, particularly in moments of vulnerability. When your daughter is shivering while others laugh by the fireplace, this responsibility becomes immediate and undeniable. Parents are tasked not only with meeting a child's basic physical needs, such as warmth and comfort, but also with safeguarding her emotional well-being. These dual roles, protector and advocate, often intersect in situations where the environment fails to respond adequately to the child's needs. Parental responsibility extends beyond reacting to immediate concerns. It involves recognizing potential risks, anticipating challenges, and taking proactive steps to ensure safety and comfort. In a social setting, this might mean intervening when others trivialize a child's distress, removing the child from an uncomfortable situation, or offering reassurance and care in ways that counteract the indifference or humor of bystanders. These actions demonstrate to the child that her well-being matters, that her feelings are valid, and that someone will always respond when she is in need. Advocacy is a key component of this responsibility. Children, especially young ones, often lack the ability to assert their needs or influence their environment, so parents become the bridge between the child and the broader social setting, ensuring that her needs are recognized and respected. This can require courage and decisiveness, particularly when others fail to respond appropriately or prioritize amusement over empathy. Standing up for a child in such moments models not only protection but also integrity, showing that her needs are non-negotiable and worthy of attention. Parental responsibility also carries an emotional dimension. Witnessing a child's discomfort can trigger feelings of frustration, guilt, or helplessness, especially when external factors complicate the ability to respond. Yet these emotions reinforce the seriousness of the parental role, highlighting the need for vigilance, attentiveness, and unwavering support. Responding effectively strengthens the child's trust in the parent and in her own right to be cared for and valued. Ultimately, parental responsibility is both a moral and practical imperative. It ensures the child's immediate safety and comfort, nurtures her emotional development, and establishes a foundation of trust and security. By fulfilling this role consistently, parents provide a living example of advocacy, empathy, and protection, demonstrating that even in environments where others may fail, a child can always rely on her guardian to see, hear, and care for her. Moments of discomfort or neglect, especially during times meant for celebration, also offer a powerful opportunity for reflection. Witnessing your daughter shivering while others laughed by the fireplace forces an examination not only of the immediate situation, but also of broader family dynamics and personal values. Holidays are often idealized as times of joy, connection, and warmth. When reality diverges sharply from this expectation, it creates space to question how family interactions function, whose needs are prioritized, and how empathy, or the lack thereof, shapes experiences. Reflection begins with observing the roles and behaviors of those around you. The laughter of other family members at your daughter's discomfort reveals patterns in how the family responds to vulnerability. It highlights whose comfort is considered primary, how attentiveness is distributed, and whether empathy is a shared value or selectively applied. Such moments expose relational tensions, unspoken hierarchies, and the ways in which social norms or habits can inadvertently marginalize those who are more vulnerable. For a parent, understanding these dynamics is crucial not only for protecting the child in the present, but also for anticipating and navigating similar situations in the future. This reflection also extends inward. Parents may consider their own reactions, boundaries, and strategies for advocacy. Did they intervene quickly enough? Could they have anticipated the discomfort? How might they model empathy and responsiveness for both their child and other family members? These questions help parents identify opportunities for growth, develop more effective communication strategies, and reinforce the importance of prioritizing a child's well-being in social contexts. Furthermore, reflection encourages consideration of long-term family priorities. It prompts evaluation of what truly matters in shared gatherings: appearance, tradition, or genuine care and connection. By consciously recognizing and addressing moments of neglect or insensitivity, parents can influence the culture of the family environment, ensuring that empathy, attentiveness, and protection become central values rather than afterthoughts. Ultimately, such reflection transforms a painful or uncomfortable incident into a learning experience, providing insight into interpersonal dynamics, clarifying parental responsibilities, and reinforcing the importance of modeling compassion and advocacy. By critically examining what occurred, parents can make intentional choices to create more supportive, empathetic, and safe environments, both for their own children and for future family interactions, ensuring that celebrations genuinely fulfill their promise of warmth, inclusion, and care. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever seen someone you love feel unseen in a room full of people, please give this video a like. That one like helps amplify the voices of children and parents whose pain often goes unnoticed. For more real, emotional, and thought-provoking stories like this, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment that matters. And leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced something like this? What would you have done in that situation? Your words might comfort someone who's been carrying a similar memory, because sometimes being heard is the warmth we all need. See you in the next video. Until then, take care of the ones you love.